Far away in the cold and silent depths of space, a small signal blinked quietly. It was weak and almost lost. No one had heard it for many years. But the signal was not just noise. It was a call for help, a silent plea from an alien world. On Earth, in a large space station high above the planet, Dr. Amina Khan sat in front of her computer screens. She watched the signal carefully. It was strange and different from anything she had ever seen. Her heart beat faster. This was not just a signal. It was a message. For weeks, Amina and her team had been listening to space, waiting for something new. They heard many sounds, stars making noise, storms on planets, even signals from old satellites. But this was different. This signal was weak, broken, and hard to understand. It came from far beyond known space. "Look at this," Amina said to her team. "This signal repeats in a pattern. It's not natural. It's a message. Someone is trying to talk to us." Her team was quiet. They looked at the screens and numbers. Many were tired. Some thought it was just noise. But Amina was sure. This was a cry for help. The signal had no name. It had no known source. It came from a place called the Dark Zone, a part of space where no human ship had gone before. It was a dangerous area, full of unknown dangers. No one had ever sent a message from there, until now. Meanwhile, in a high government room on Earth, leaders watched the data from Amina's team. The news spread fast. A call for help from an unknown alien race? It sounded like a story from old science fiction books. But the data was real. General Marcus Stone, the head of Earth's space defense, sat quietly. He was a hard man, used to war and tough decisions. "We don't know who sent this," he said. "It could be a trap, or worse. We must be careful." But others thought differently. "If we ignore this," said Dr. Lee, the head scientist, "we may lose a chance to make friends in the universe, or we may lose the chance to save a civilization." The debate was loud and long. Some feared war. Others hoped for peace. But one thing was clear. Earth had to answer the call. Back at the space station, Amina worked day and night. She tried to understand the message. The signal was full of strange sounds, beeps, pulses, and clicks. Slowly, a pattern emerged. It was a map, a location far beyond the galaxy. "This is a place no human ship has ever reached," Amina said. "But if we don't go, they may die." On Earth, the news was kept secret from the public. People were busy with their own lives, unaware of the strange signal that might change everything. But in the shadows, some groups watched closely. The Guardians, a secret military group, believed this could be a threat. "We must prepare for war," said their leader, Commander Rourke. "If aliens want to test us, we will be ready." So, plans began. Earth started to wake the human fleet. Ships that had been resting for years were readied for battle. Pilots were called back. Weapons were loaded. The fleet was ready for action. But no one knew what waited in the dark zone. On a cold, quiet night, Amina stood outside the space station window. She looked at the stars, thinking about the message. Who sent it? Were they alive? Were they in danger? Could humans really help? Suddenly, the signal changed. It became faster, louder. The message was repeating again and again. Amina's heart raced. "They need us," she whispered. "They are running out of time." The fleet commanders gathered in a large room deep underground. Maps showed the location of the signal. "We must go," said General Stone. "This is why the fleet exists, to protect, to help." The pilots looked at their ships. Some were scared. Some were excited. No one knew what was out there. As the fleet prepared to leave, strange problems began. Communications broke for moments. Systems blinked and failed. Was it a warning or a test? No one knew. The countdown began. In the control room, Amina watched the fleet launch. She hoped the message was not a trap. She hoped humanity was ready. And then the ships disappeared into the darkness of space. The silent signal was no longer silent. It was a call to action. The cold darkness of space held secrets, secrets that Earth was about to uncover. The human fleet, once thought to be a legend, was waking after years of silence. Deep inside massive shipyards, giant warships stirred from their long sleep. Engines hummed softly, lights blinked in the dark. On Earth, in a high command center, General Marcus Stone stood tall. His face was hard and serious. The signal is real, the message is clear, the fleet must move. Soldiers and pilots hurried through halls filled with metal and light. They had waited for this moment, the moment Earth would answer the call from the stars. Captain Elena Ruiz walked quickly toward her ship, the Valiant. Her hands were steady, but inside her heart raced. This was her first mission in years. The Valiant was one of the oldest ships in the fleet, but it was strong and ready. We are not just going to a rescue mission, Elena thought. This could be a war. Around her, the space docks buzzed with activity. Men and women in uniforms checked weapons, ran diagnostics, and loaded supplies. The fleet was preparing for the unknown. Meanwhile, in a secret research lab, Dr. Amina Khan studied the latest readings from the distress signal. It was no longer weak, it had grown stronger. But strange interference still disturbed it. Someone, or something, was trying to block the message. Who could want to stop us? Amina wondered. Her assistant, a young engineer named Sam, looked worried. Maybe it's a warning, he said quietly. Amina shook her head. Or maybe it's fear. Fear of what humanity can do. As the fleet prepared to jump into deep space, tensions rose. Some leaders warned of a trap. Others believed this was a chance to make new allies. General Stone's voice was clear. We do not know what waits for us, but we will be ready. Earth's fleet will protect humanity, and those who need help. On the bridge of the Valiant, Captain Elena looked at the crew. Everyone, she said, this mission is more than orders. It is hope. We will go where no human has gone before. We will answer the silent call. The countdown began. Engines roared to life. The huge ships shook as power surged through their hulls. The stars outside blurred as the fleet prepared to jump through a wormhole, a shortcut through space to the source of the signal. Suddenly, alarm sounded. Communication systems are jammed, the communications officer shouted. Captain Elena's eyes narrowed. Can we send a message back? No response. The interference is strong, came the reply. The fleet was caught in a strange silence cut off from Earth. General Stone's voice came over the speakers. Hold your positions. Stay calm. We don't know what is causing this. As the fleet moved into the jump position, strange shadows appeared on the sensors. Unknown objects moved quickly, too fast to be natural. Unidentified ships approaching, shouted the radar officer. Are they friend or foe? Elena asked. No one knew. Suddenly, a bright light flashed near the fleet. A warning shot? Or a signal? The fleet's ships moved into battle positions, weapons locked and ready. Elena gripped the controls. Prepare for anything. The jump began. Stars stretched into lines. Time seemed to slow and then speed up. In moments, the fleet was far beyond known space when the dark zone. The silence was heavy. The fleet moved slowly, searching for the source of the distress signal. Suddenly, the Valiant's sensors detected a large, damaged ship nearby. It's alien, said Elena quietly. And it's not moving. The crew stared at the dark shape, floating in space. On board the alien ship, silence filled the halls. No lights, no movement. It looked empty. But was it? Amina's voice came over the fleet's communication channels. This ship is from the signal's origin. We need to board it carefully. Captain Elena nodded. Prepare a team. We board at once. The boarding party moved in spacesuits. They stepped into the alien ship. The air was thick and cold. Strange symbols covered the walls. The ship's systems were failing. Suddenly, a soft noise echoed through the halls. A faint, distant whisper. Is someone here? Asked one of the soldiers. No answer. Then, from the shadows, a figure appeared. It was small, thin, with glowing eyes. The team froze. The aliens spoke in a language none understood, but then the ship's translator started to work. "We are dying," the alien said. "Our enemies come. We called for help. Please, save us." The team felt a chill. This was no trap. It was real. Back on the Valiant, Captain Elena reported, "They are alive. They need us. But their enemy is close." General Stone made a decision. "We will defend them. The human fleet is here to protect." The fleet readied for battle again. In the darkness, unknown ships gathered. They were powerful, silent, and deadly. The human fleet was not just a rescue force anymore. It was the last hope for an alien world. Captain Elena looked at the stars. This is only the beginning. A call that would change everything. The human fleet moved slowly through the vast dark space known as the Dark Zone. It was a place few had ever seen. Strange stars flickered in the distance and cold emptiness stretched in all directions. The silence felt heavy, almost like the space itself was watching. Captain Elena Ruiz stood on the bridge of the Valiant, staring at the flickering radar screens. The crew was tense. Nobody spoke much. Everyone knew they were far from home and far from help. "This area is unlike anything we've seen," said Lieutenant Harris, the radar officer. "There are strange energy fields. They disrupt our sensors and weapons. We have to be careful." Elena nodded. "Keep your eyes open. We don't know what waits in the shadows." The distress signal had led them here, deeper into unknown space. It grew stronger, but parts of it were still scrambled like a puzzle missing pieces. Suddenly, alarms rang out. "Hull breach detected in Section 7, shouted the engineer. The crew rushed to repair the damage. No one knew what had caused it, a meteor, enemy fire, or something else. Captain Elena's voice was calm but firm. "Prepare for anything. We don't have the luxury of mistakes." Meanwhile, in the ship's medbay, Dr. Amina Khan watched the incoming data from the alien ship they had boarded. The aliens were in bad shape. Their technology was strange and old. Their biology was different, fragile. "They have been hiding here for a long time," Amina said quietly. "Their world is dying, and their enemies are hunting them." The crew worked day and night trying to understand the alien language and technology. Slowly, pieces of the message became clear. "The enemies are called the Shadra," explained Amina. "A ruthless race, attacking and destroying planets." The fleet scientists grew worried. The Shadra were unknown to Earth. No human ship had ever fought them before. Suddenly, the ship's systems flickered again. Crew members felt cold shivers. Some reported strange noises, whispers, footsteps, in empty corridors. Lieutenant Harris checked the radar. Movement detected, but no ships on sensors. "What is it?" Elena asked. "Unknown," he said, his voice tense. Then crew members began to disappear. First, a young pilot vanished from his bunk, no signs of struggle. It was as if he simply walked into the darkness and was gone. "Check the cameras," Elena ordered. But the recordings showed only empty halls. Fear grew among the crew. Captain Elena called an emergency meeting. "We have two problems," she said. "One, we are deep in enemy space. Two, something is inside the ship with us." Some whispered of ghosts. Others feared an alien creature. Dr. Amina was more practical. "It may be something biological, a parasite, or a creature living in the ship's systems." The crew set traps and security patrols. Lights were kept on in every corridor. Nobody wanted to be alone. One night, Elena walked the halls herself. The silence was broken only by her footsteps. Suddenly, she saw a shadow move quickly out of the corner of her eye. "Who's there?" she called. No answer. Her heart raced. She knew the fleet was not just fighting enemies outside. Something inside was hunting them too. Meanwhile, the distress signal became clearer. It was a warning. "The Shadra fleet is nearby," Amina told the command. "They are hunting the alien survivors, and now they know we are here." Radar showed dark shapes moving in the distance. The enemy was close. General Stone's voice came through the comms. "Prepare for battle. The fleet must protect the refugees, but we cannot run forever." Captain Elena looked at her crew. This fight will be unlike any other. We face an unknown enemy, and the dangers inside our own ships. The Valiant and the other fleet ships moved into a defensive formation. Weapons systems powered up. Shields rose. Then the first attack came. Bright blasts of energy lit the dark space. Explosions rocked the ships. The Shadra were powerful and fast. The fleet fought hard. Pilots flew with skill and courage. But the enemy was relentless. Inside the Valiant, the strange disappearances continued. More crew vanished without a trace. Captain Elena realized something terrible. The fleet was fighting battles on two fronts, outside in space and inside their own ships. The alien survivors warned of a deadly parasite, a creature born of the Shadra's dark technology. It could hide inside machines and people's minds. It fed on fear and chaos. "We must find it and destroy it," Elena said. With Amina's help, the team built traps and scanners. Slowly, they hunted the parasite through the dark corridors. In one tense moment, the parasite attacked the bridge. Lights flickered. Controls failed. Crew members felt strange pain in their heads. Elena held on to the control stick. "We are stronger than this," she said, fighting the darkness in her mind. Finally, after a desperate struggle, the parasite was captured in a containment field. The crew cheered, but the battle was far from over. The Shadra fleet still surrounded them. Captain Elena looked out at the stars. "We have survived the unknown, but the war is just beginning." The battle with the Shadra had slowed, but the danger was far from over. The human fleet had survived the first attack, but they were wounded and tired. The dark space around them felt colder than ever. Captain Elena Ruiz stood on the Valiant's bridge, watching the damaged ships float like broken stars. Her eyes were heavy with worry. The fleet was holding, but only just. "We need to find a safe place to repair," she told General Stone during a video call. "We cannot keep fighting without rest." General Stone nodded. "Agreed. But where? The dark zone is full of danger. Every system here is unknown." Amina Khan, still working closely with Elena, studied the alien ship they had boarded. "There is a planet nearby," she said. "The signal map shows it as a possible refuge." The planet was dark, covered with thick clouds and strange storms. No one knew if it was safe, but the fleet had no choice. "We move to the planet, General," Stone ordered. "Prepare to land the refugees and repair the ships." As the fleet moved closer, strange problems began again. Sensors failed. Communications dropped. Crew members reported strange dreams, visions of shadows and whispers in their minds. Elena felt it too, a cold fear that touched her thoughts in the quiet moments. She wondered if the parasite was still alive somewhere on the Valiant. At night, she sat alone, staring out at the stars. "We fight an enemy we cannot see," she whispered. "And something worse is inside us." The landing on the planet was rough. Thick clouds shook the ships. Lightning flashed in the sky. The ground was rocky and strange plants moved in the wind. The alien survivors were afraid, but hopeful. They needed this place to heal. On the planet's surface, the human fleet set up a base. Soldiers and scientists worked side by side. The alien refugees told stories of their world, a place once bright and full of life, now dark and broken by war. "We must learn their history," Amina said. "It is the key to stopping the Shadra." While repairs began, Elena met with the fleet's top officers. "We are safe here for now," she said, "but the parasite threat is still real. We must find a way to destroy it before it spreads." Amina suggested a risky plan. "The parasite is linked to the Shadra's technology. If we can find their command ship, we might stop them for good." General Stone frowned. "That means going deeper into enemy space, a dangerous mission." Elena felt a fire in her heart. "It is the only way. We cannot run forever." Meanwhile, strange things happened in the base. Crew members disappeared. Again, this time on the planet. No one knew how or why. Amina's team studied the parasite's behavior. It can survive outside ships, she warned. It spreads like a virus, through fear and confusion. Elena ordered stricter security. Patrols doubled. Everyone had to wear tracking devices. No one was allowed alone. One night, Elena and Amina found a secret tunnel beneath the base. It was old, made by the aliens long ago. They decided to explore, and the tunnel was dark and cold. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the walls. The air smelled heavy like metal and dust. As they walked, they heard a low humming sound, a heartbeat in the dark. Suddenly, the tunnel opened into a large chamber, filled with strange machines. The walls pulsed with light. "This must be a Shadra outpost," Amina whispered. "Their technology is here." Elena looked around carefully. "We must be very careful. One wrong move could alert the enemy." They found a device that looked like a control center. Amina connected her tools and began to scan. "This technology controls the parasite," she said. "If we can shut it down, we might end the threat." Suddenly, the chamber shook. Alarms blared. "They know we are here," Elena shouted. They ran through the tunnels, dodging strange creatures and traps. Back on the surface, the base went on. High alert. Soldiers rushed to defend the perimeter. Elena and Amina barely made it back. Their faces were pale, but determined. General Stone waited for their report. "Can we stop the parasite?" Amina shook her head. "Not yet. But we have a lead. The Shadra command ship is close. If we destroy it, the parasite will lose its source." The fleet prepared for the next mission, a strike deep into enemy territory. The alien survivors watched nervously. Their hope was fragile, but it grew stronger with each step. Elena stood once more on the Valiant's bridge, looking at the stars. "We face the darkness," she said, "but we are not alone." The fleet was ready to fight, not just for Earth, but for all who called the stars home. The human fleet was quiet now, but the tension in the air was thick. Captain Elena Ruiz stood on the bridge of the Valiant, staring out into the endless darkness. Ahead was the heart of enemy space, the place no human ship had dared to enter before. The Shadra command ship was nearby, hidden in the shadows of a dying star. It was huge, dark, and alive with danger. The parasite that had haunted the fleet for weeks came from this ship. Destroying it was the only chance to stop the terror. General Stone's voice came over the comms. "This mission is critical. You must succeed, or the fleet and our new allies will fall." Elena felt the weight of his words. "Understood, General. We go in prepared." The Valiant and a small squadron of fighters moved silently toward the enemy's lair. The stars around them seemed to dim, swallowed by the dark energy the Shadra used to hide their base. Inside the ship, the crew checked their weapons and shields. Fear was there, but it was mixed with fierce determination. Lieutenant Harris studied the enemy's defense patterns on the radar. "They have traps and energy fields. We will have to be smart." Elena nodded. "We fight with our minds as much as with our guns." The first attack came suddenly. Shadra fighters rushed out of hiding, their ships like dark shadows with red lights. The fleet's fighters met them head-on. Laser beams cut through the void. Explosions lit the darkness. Elena piloted the Valiant through the chaos. Her hands were steady, her mind sharp. "Keep focused," she ordered. "Protect the bombers." A special team had been chosen for a dangerous task, to board the command ship and place explosives inside its core. Without them, the Shadra would keep fighting forever. The boarding team moved out in small pods, closing fast on the enemy ship. Elena's heart pounded as she watched their approach. Inside the Shadra command ship, the atmosphere was cold and mechanical. Strange machines hummed. Dark corridors twisted like a maze. The boarding team fought through hostile guards, tall, alien warriors with sharp weapons and glowing eyes. One of the soldiers, Sergeant Malik, whispered to his squad, "Stay close. We have to reach the core." Suddenly, the parasite's presence was felt. The dark energy pulsed through the walls. It whispered lies and fear into their minds. "Don't listen," Malik shouted. "Focus." The team moved forward, planting charges on the power conduits. Meanwhile, back on the Valiant, Elena's crew battled Shadra fighters trying to stop the boarding team. The fight was fierce. Shields flickered. Systems failed. But the human fleet pushed on, driven by hope and the need to survive. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the enemy ship. The charges had detonated. The command ship shuddered, alarms blaring. Elena ordered, "All ships, pull back. Jump to hyperspace." The fleet raced away as the command ship began to collapse in a shower of fire and debris, but the victory was bittersweet. Inside the wreckage, the parasite tried to escape. It reached out, searching for new hosts, new ships to infect. "Captain." Elena's mind flashed with a warning. The parasite was not defeated yet. Back on the Valiant, the crew checked their systems. They had survived, but the battle had taken its toll. General Stone's voice was calm but proud. "Well done, Captain. You have struck a heavy blow to the enemy." Elena looked out at the stars again. "The parasite may live, but we have hope now. We fight for Earth, for the aliens, and for all who dream of peace." The fleet set a course for the alien refuge planet, where repairs and rest awaited. But the war was far from over. Captain Elena knew that, and she was ready. The fleet moved away from the shattered command ship, but the danger did not end. Captain Elena Ruiz stood quietly on the Valiant's bridge, feeling a heavy weight in her chest. The parasite might be weakened, but it was still alive. The alien survivors had warned her many times. The parasite was ancient, born from a war long before anyone knew. It was not just a weapon, it was a shadow from the past. Amina Khan joined Elena on the bridge, holding a datapad. "We found something," she said softly. "The aliens' records show an old war. The parasite was created as a last weapon. It spreads by fear and hatred," Elena frowned. "So it feeds on emotions?" "Yes. It grows stronger when people are scared or angry." Elena looked out at the stars. "That means we have to keep our minds clear, no panic." But it was hard. The crew was tired. The fear of the parasite, the Shadra, and the endless battle weighed on everyone. The fleet set course for the alien refuge planet again, hoping to rest and rebuild. But not all was peaceful. Strange things happened on the planet's surface. Crops withered overnight, equipment malfunctioned, and some crew members claimed to see shadows moving in the dark. Elena and Amina visited the refugee camp. The aliens were nervous. Their eyes were full of fear and sadness. One elder approached Elena. "This planet has memories," he said. "The parasite has followed us here before. It hides in the past in old pain and anger." Elena asked, "How do we stop it for good?" The elder looked at her sadly. "You must face the darkness inside yourselves. Only then will the parasite lose its power." That night, Elena sat alone, thinking. She knew the fight was not just in space, it was inside their hearts and minds. Suddenly, alarms sounded. The base went on alert. Amina's voice came over the comms. "Something is wrong with the power core." Elena rushed to the control room. The lights flickered. Systems failed. Then the parasite struck. Dark tendrils of energy spread through the base, twisting machines and minds. Soldiers fought to hold the line, but fear spread fast. Elena felt a cold shadow in her mind, whispers trying to break her. "Will." She gripped the control panel. "We are stronger than this," she shouted. Amina worked quickly to isolate the infected systems. "We need to shut down the main reactor temporarily," she said. "It will stop the parasite's spread." The decision was risky. Without power, the base would be vulnerable. Elena nodded. "Do it." The lights went out. Silence fell. In the dark, the crew held their breath. Slowly, the parasite's grip weakened. The shadows retreated. Power returned. The base was safe for now, but the attack was a warning. Elena gathered her officers. "The parasite is more powerful than we thought. It uses our fears against us. We must stay united," she said, "and face our own shadows if we want to win." The alien survivors offered help. They shared ancient meditation techniques and rituals to calm the mind. Crew members gathered each day to learn. It was strange and new, but they tried. Elena found herself joining the sessions. The quiet helped clear her mind. She dreamed of her home on Earth, her family, the blue sky, and peaceful days. She promised herself she would fight not only for survival but for a better future. Days passed and the base grew stronger. The fleet repaired its ships, ready for the next battle. But Elena knew the real fight was just beginning, inside and out. The parasite was still out there, waiting for fear and anger to return. She looked at the stars with a new determination. "We'll face the shadows," she said quietly, "and we will win." The human fleet was ready. The ships gleamed under the stars, repaired and armed. Captain Elena Ruiz stood on the bridge of the Valiant, her eyes sharp and steady. The time had come for the final battle. The parasite's reach had spread across the galaxy like a dark storm. It infected minds, destroyed worlds, and turned allies into enemies. But the humans and their new alien friends had a plan, a gamble that could end the nightmare forever. General Stone's voice crackled through the comm. "Captain Ruiz, this mission is the last hope. You will lead the strike team to the parasite's heart. Destroy it, or we lose everything." Elena nodded. "Understood. We fight for Earth and all who stand with us." The fleet moved silently through space toward the dark system where the parasite's main nest lay hidden. The stars were faint, swallowed by the black cloud that covered the area. Amina Khan stood beside Elena, her face calm but determined. "We carry the last weapon, the mind shield. It can block the parasite's influence." Elena looked at the device carefully. "This is our key. Without it, the parasite can control us all." The fleet approached the nest, a giant asteroid covered with strange, pulsing veins. The parasite's energy flowed from it like poison. Elena gave the order. "Prepare to land." The strike team boarded fast. Soldiers, scientists, and engineers moved with purpose. The planet was alive with dark energy. The air was thick, hard to breathe. The parasite tried to reach them, whispering lies and fears into their minds. But the mind shields glowed bright, protecting their thoughts. Sergeant Malik led the soldiers. "Keep close. We move fast and strike hard." The team moved through tunnels that pulsed with alien life. The walls breathed and shifted. Strange sounds echoed all around. Suddenly, the parasite showed itself, a massive, shifting form of shadow and light. It spoke in many voices, cold and cruel. "You cannot stop me," it hissed. "Your fear feeds me. Your anger powers me." Elena stepped forward, voice strong. "We choose hope over fear. We choose unity over anger." The parasite laughed. "Foolish humans. You are weak." But the strike team was ready. They placed explosives around the nest's core. Amina worked at the control panel, disabling the parasite's defenses. "Almost done," she said. "Just a few more seconds." Suddenly, the parasite lashed out, sending a wave of dark energy. The soldiers shielded their minds with the device. Elena felt a sharp pain, but held firm. "Now!" she shouted. The explosives detonated in a brilliant flash. The asteroid shook violently. The parasite screamed, a sound of rage and defeat. The dark veins shattered. Light broke through the black cloud. The strike team rushed back to the fleet as the parasite's nest collapsed into dust. On the Valiant, Elena breathed deeply. The nightmare was ending. General Stone's voice was proud. "You did it, Captain. You saved us all." Elena looked out at the stars, now bright and clear. "We fought the darkness and won," she said softly. "For Earth, for our friends, for the future." The fleet set course for home. The galaxy was safe, but the memory of the fight would stay forever. Captain Elena smiled, knowing that humanity's courage had changed the stars. The human fleet sailed home through quiet, peaceful space. The stars were bright, no longer hidden behind the parasite's dark cloud. Captain Elena Ruiz stood on the bridge of the Valiant, feeling a calm she hadn't known in weeks. Behind them lay a long, hard war. The parasite had nearly destroyed everything. But humanity, with courage and hope, had fought back and won. The alien allies gathered on the refugee planet, their faces full of relief. The dark shadow that had followed them for centuries was finally gone. Elena looked at the stars and thought about Earth. Her home, blue and green, waiting for her return. General Stone's voice came over the comm, gentle but strong. "Captain, Ruiz, the fleet has orders to return. You and your crew have done the impossible." Elena smiled softly. "Thank you, General. It's time to go home." The crew celebrated quietly. They had survived battles, fear, and pain. Now they looked to the future. Amina Khan joined Elena on the bridge. "The aliens want to help rebuild their worlds and they want to learn from us." Elena nodded. "We fought together. Now we will grow together." The human fleet approached Earth. Its blue oceans and green lands shone like a jewel. Elena sent a message to Earth Command. "We returned victorious. The threat is gone." The world below was ready to welcome them. People cheered as the ships landed. They had watched the war from afar, hoping and praying. Elena stepped down from the Valiant, breathing fresh air. She saw families reunited, friends hugging, children laughing. She knew the war had changed everything, but it had also made humanity stronger. Leaders from Earth and the alien worlds met to build a new alliance. A promise was made, to protect peace, to learn from each other, and to face any future threats together. Elena felt hope bloom inside her. The darkness was behind them. A new dawn was here. She looked up at the sky. The stars were bright, full of promise. The human fleet's journey had ended, but humanity's story was just beginning.